This is just the rest of the room, per se. And now you'll notice that we're actually on top of this maze. Now, there are a couple fire slugs here, but nothing serious. And there's also a crack right here that we can bomb. I'm not going to worry about that just yet. Yes, Navi's actually letting me know that it's there. I know it's there. It's blatantly obvious. The only reason I'm being careful with these jumps is you can get hit by the boulder sometimes while you're holding onto the side, so I'm trying to watch out for that. There's a fire slug. I'll take care of that. It does have a little bit of invincibility frames for a little while, but you can just keep hacking and slashing at it until it goes down. These enemies are not a threat to you whatsoever. Sometimes they might get in the way of your jump, but that's about it. Yeah, see right there where I almost got hit by that boulder? That's what I was trying to avoid. These jumps are not hard to make. You just have to be careful that you don't get hit by those boulders on the edge of your feet and, you know, fall down. There's a key. No, I didn't want to talk to you. If you find a place that you can see on the map but can't reach, try playing your Ocarina. Well, yeah, that's also true for the Forest Temple. What it's saying right there is, try playing the Song of Time or the Scarecrow song, and it'll probably take you to somewhere that you need to go. That's the instance in this temple once. Exactly once. And I know exactly where he's talking about, too, so be sure to bring that up whenever we get there. So like our typical pattern goes, we have one key. Well, where's the second one? Well, we already kind of went past the second one. We also saw it earlier, so let's go and bomb this. That spot right there. Yeah, I know you hear Goron voices down below, even though it's just one Goron. Navi's actually up there flashing up there flashing green. Hello. Apparently I didn't pass kindergarten. That's an area where you can play the Scarecrow song for a Skulltula. Nothing required for this dungeon, and I'm 100% positive that's not the compass either. So this is the room that we saw earlier that I told you the switch is on the other side. This also creates a pathway back if you want to take a shortcut. But there's our second key. Like I said, they always come in pairs of 2. Can I not? Oh, I guess... Okay, why could I do it earlier, but not now? Oh, whatever. They just want to make you take this agonizing climb back up, and there's actually something kind of annoying that happens when you climb up here, because in jumping down, even though it looks like you're in the same room, you switched floors. So what that means is all the enemies respawn, so now this guy's up here just waiting for you to get knocked all the way back down. So kind of just wait for an opening and then just get him whenever you get the chance to. I will admit that's kind of irritating, but there's not much you can do about it. This might be the only spot in the dungeon that might throw you off, because we could have seen a locked door earlier that was in this room, but I didn't pay it much mind at the time because we had no keys. And the flame wall will come from this direction as well. But the other locked door was actually up here. We passed it earlier. Once again, another jump that looks like you can't make it, but you can. Now that we've got those keys, we'll go through here. And this is like the one time where you'll actually find a hallway that's not a dead end into where you can pick up a key. You can actually keep going here. So now we're here. This is kind of an annoying room, so we're going to start on the left side here. Jump down, and basically what you have is a maze of sorts that will not reveal itself to you until you get close enough to get hit by the wall of fire that will appear from going the wrong way. So you kind of have to know your pattern a little bit. Thankfully, I do know it fairly well, and then use your other key here. This is the room that they're mentioning, that if you don't know where to go, try playing your Ocarina, because, well, yeah, see how Navi was turning green, not blue for a second? This means that we need to try playing our Ocarina here. There's actually a Song of Time block that you can pick up here, or that will appear here. And that for those of you that ever want to play Master Quest, please, 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 for all of the love that is good in Zelda, remember that, because a lot of the puzzles in Master Quest Forest Temple revolve around playing the Song of Time blocks. Whenever it looks like there's no way you can go, this is probably what you have to do. You probably have to play a Song of Time block. Now, you'll notice there's a switch across the way, but it looks incredibly rusted, so there's not much you can actually do. Should you go over there, Navi will tell you the switch looks rusted, but you can't just step on it and expect it to work, unfortunately. That's not how it goes. I'm gonna wait for these things of fire to go away. Step on the switch to make the flames disappear very temporarily, and the camera kind of messes with you here, so don't go forward, go straight to the left, otherwise you'll go too far forward and hit that wall of flame coming up, and then of course that'll mess you up. There's some bombs and hearts on both of these pots on both sides, so it's a very clear indication of what you need to do. If you slash right here, you'll notice that this is a fake door that tries to attack you, and if you try to open it, the same thing will happen. So, since it's a fake door, let's blow it up and find the real one underneath. Very nice. Making some good progress here. Here we have our mini-boss of this dungeon. He's kind of weird. He's basically a dancing type enemy. You got really two options here. You can either throw a bomb at him or use the hook shot on him. Either one works. And what I would recommend doing from there is just using the quick spin to get him a couple times. Otherwise, you'll have to run in the direction opposite that he's running, and you know, eventually you'll cross paths again whenever you're running through the room, and then you know, slash at him then. The quick spin is very, very effective here, though. I haven't really been using it that much in this playthrough, but what you do is you just rotate the analog stick and then hit B, and this is how you do your quick spin. It's very, very useful for these guys. Once they go through 3 forms, they'll have like the kind of the orange typical fire coat, and then they'll get a blue one and then a green one, and I don't think it matters whether it's blue first and then green or whatever, but either way, once they are defeated, then they will explode, so make sure to avoid them there, and that is it for that mini-boss. We'll be fighting another one later on, but not just yet. It'd be kind of silly to have them be back-to-back now, wouldn't it? So here we have another very basic puzzle. This is essentially just another rehash of what we saw earlier, so since you already kind of knew what to do, I don't know really why they put this puzzle in here. Drop a bomb down, it explodes, activates the switch, fire goes away, and you climb up here. Like I said, I really don't know why they put that puzzle in again, because you have to do that earlier, and the previous puzzle was a little bit harder because there was there's more than one floor. You only had an upper and a lower floor in that room, so it's kind of obvious what you had to do. Alright, now this room is a pain. The first thing I would recommend doing is, if you feel like you're a pretty good shot, is trying to get rid of the keys in here, because they will completely screw you up. And you can run around and try to get their attention as well. Either one works. Okay, there's one. But yeah, these guys will mess you up while doing this puzzle. It's kind of irritating. And by kind of, I mean very, because if you fall down here, you're going to be really angry, trust me. Okay, if that one could just get away from the staircase here. He's not going to either. So what we have here is actually, this is the room where well, I'm going to go over and kill that Keys, but I'll go ahead and mention this now. This is the room where our dungeon item is located, which, as you can expect from all the talk of it earlier, is the legendary hammer. So we'll be picking that up in this room, but this puzzle requires you to be very fast and very careful at the same time, and with the keys around, that's going to be a lot easier said than done. So I would highly recommend getting rid of all of the fire bats in this room, or fire keys, whatever you want to call them. Get rid of them however you want to. Arrows, go up and slash them, get their attention, whatever you got to do, get them out. They're annoying, and they will mess this puzzle up for you, especially if it's your first time playing. Now the dungeon item is actually up there. It's surrounded by fire right now. It's kind of obvious what you have to do. So what you're going to be doing is hitting the switch right here and running to the top of this and going up the spiral. You can't use these long platforms. There will clearly not be enough time if you've played before, and I think they also prevent you from actually getting to the top on the last one. You can't quite make it up there. So you're going to have to be fast and accurate, and if you do fall off this platform and you fall on the inside, you fall all the way back down to that beginning floor. So you do not want to do that. So be as careful as you possibly can, and if you know you're going to fall to the left, not to the right, because if you fall to the left, you might not get the puzzle done, but at least you're still in the room. There you go. There's some spots there where the platform gets really narrow and you've got to turn, and you do not really have time to adjust the camera. The timer's not very lenient on that, so you have to be very quick, and it's just really annoying. And you can see why, if a bat hit you in the middle of that, it could easily screw you over. But now we have the Megaton Hammer. Press C to smash and break junk. It's so heavy you need to use 2 hands to swing it. It was also an obtainable weapon in Soul Calibur 2 for the GameCube. For those of you that really like your Namco fighting games. But the Megaton Hammer, to be perfectly honest, while it's a cool weapon, it's not really used hardly at all outside of this dungeon. But they did mention it is used to break stuff. You can break the rocks that we've been seeing earlier. You can use it to activate rusted switches, and you can also get it to drop platforms like this in order to progress. In addition, it can also be used to destroy these statues. And there's not too many of these. This is pretty much the only time outside of the, or the only thing that you'll have to do outside of the dungeon is occasionally destroy one of those. Okay, got rid of you. Got rid of you without getting hit somehow there. Probably should have. Let's go ahead and use the Megaton Hammer here. This will drop down this platform. And I'll take that. This is not timed right here, but you are going to need one of these boxes. You don't have to get the other 2 keys, though. They won't bother you. You're so far out of the way. Step on the switch to activate it like we had in Jabba Jabba's belly. You have to have something holding it down, so you use a crate. There we go. And this takes us back to a room that we've already seen. Now, the only other time that you might get lost in here, where you also have to backtrack, is right here. You'll hit this switch, which, if not, you get close to it, and obviously it looks rusted. And I did mention previously that this one also looked rusted, and I'll show you, because it will say this switch looks rusted. Now that we have the Megaton Hammer, we can actually activate the switch. And in doing that, we can give the camera a seizure, but not only that, we can get another key. Which, we do need that, so... So go ahead and head up here. Hit the switch. We'll hit this platform, and this will cause the platform to appear, and you do want to fall here. You do want to fall way down back to the beginning in the room where we met Darunia. So it looks like we're all set, because now we can get across. We have a key, but we don't have the boss key yet. We never picked it up. So where might it be, you ask? Well, it turns out this last key obviously does have a use. You know, they're not going to just program in a key and then have no use for it. The last key is actually in this first room, because if you remember, there was a statue right here. You get out of here. And there you go. That's kind of the hidden passage right there. That might be another thing you forget, but for the most part, this temple is very easy. This is simply a kill all the enemies room. There's nothing difficult about this one at all. I actually like all the kill all the enemies rooms that they put in Zelda games. They're very fun. I always like the Cave of Ordeals and, you know, all the things like that. Always a big fan of those. There's another bat hanging around here. Get out of here. Thanks for the heart, though. For some reason, fire keys seem to drop a lot of hearts. They always have, at least for me. They seem to have higher drop rates for hearts. I'm not sure why, but they do. This is another room that you could completely avoid if you wanted to. I do want to pick up that Skulltula, so I'm going to go ahead and get rid of the Tile Masters, and if the like leaves me alone, then maybe I won't have to deal with it. Yeah, there we go. Okay, I'm just going to ignore the like. They have a pretty good chance of dropping 15 or 20 rupees. In fact, I think it's guaranteed to either get a red rupee or 3 blue rupees, one or the other. So if you want to get money, you could fight them, but I don't need that, so I'm not going to bother with it. So here we have the exact same mini-boss. Nothing has changed about this whatsoever, so nothing new here. Just pull him out or throw a bomb at him. If you actually do let them, you know, start moving around the room, you can just do the same thing. Just don't make any contact with them. I think the only way they can damage you is by contact or by spitting out fireballs at you, but you actually, you know, have to let them do that pretty much. They give you plenty of leeway, even if they're on the other end of the room, to get them before they start moving. They're also pretty good about dropping bombs, too, so if you need some bombs, then by all means, go for it. This one also drops a treasure chest because this platform doesn't rise. However, this isn't a key, it's just bombs. I'll go ahead and show you, though, in case you don't believe me. See? Just bombs. Nothing special. And we have a rusted switch here, which, of course, you'll have the Megaton Hammer by now. And here's our boss key. So that's pretty much the end of the dungeon. All you have to do is go up and fight the boss, and wait till you see the strategy for this boss. It's so stupid. I'll go ahead and talk to this one since he's the last guy. Oh, I see. Big Brother Darunia asked you to rescue me. I owe you big time. Please help Big Brother. Big Brother is watching. So yeah, that's the last conversation that you'll see from the Gorons, because the boss key is literally the last thing you pick up in this dungeon. You get the map, the compass, the dungeon item, all the keys before that. That's the last thing you pick up, and then you just head back around here. Jump across into here. And lo and behold, ready to fight the boss. Now, I'm not going to use it because I already have 3 fairies, but should you need a fairy, you can actually use the hook shot on that platform and then jump up from the platform up to there. There's a couple of pots in there, one of them will always contain a fairy if you need it for whatever reason, but trust me, you don't need it for this boss. This boss is pathetically easy. In addition to, in my opinion, in addition to this being the easiest dungeon in the adult section of the game, this is also the easiest boss, too. For me, anyway. It's really, really pathetic because of a very broken strategy. As expected, it is Volvagia, so not really a spoiler there. The subterranean lava dragon of Volvagia. It might be Volvagia, but Volvagia is what I always call it, so if I pronounce it wrong, guess what? I don't care. I'll say it how I want to say it. Now, you'd think for fighting a lava dragon, this would be kind of cool and intense. It's not. If you want an intense dragon fight, go play City in the Sky. So what you're going to have to do is essentially play a game of whack-a-mole. All you need for this fight is your Megaton Hammer, and he'll come out of one of the spots. And then you'll hit him with the Megaton Hammer and then hit him with the Master Sword. I would highly recommend doing a jump attack. After you've hit him, he'll actually come back out and start reaching to the ceiling to throw down rocks at you or try to breathe fire at you. However, you can hold on to the side of the wall because you can get knocked off and they have to have a way to climb back up. Should you do that, he will usually just appear and then disappear immediately after that, which means this fight's broken. Like, broken, horribly broken. I didn't mean to hit start there, I meant to get rid of the L target. So every time that you hit him, you can just hold on to the side like this, and you won't get hit, no matter which of the two things he does. If he goes to breathe fire at you, he's just going to go right back underground. If he goes to throw the rocks, he's still going to throw the rocks, but they don't target you, they just kind of randomly hit the stage. So by holding the side, you're not going to get hit by anything. And you can just keep waiting until he goes back underground, and the rocks will stop doing this shortly after. Now keep in mind, when he does appear, like that, he'll whip his bangs around, or whatever you want to call them. The little lava things he's got on him. He'll whip those around. Those can damage you. That's probably the only thing that can actually hurt you in this fight, but once again, keep using the Megaton Hammer. The only thing that changes is the fact you can obviously see he tried to fake me out there, and the more damage he takes, the more he'll try to fake you out. So at first he'll just, you know, pop up wherever the little lava spurt appears, and then it'll start being 1 fake out, and then 2, and then 3. I messed up right there because I was trying to do a jump attack with the Megaton Hammer and it didn't work. Yeah, he's going for the same thing, which means you just hold the side. I really wish that they had just not... Like, it was cool for scenery and all, but, you know, whenever they made the scenery, like, what happens if a player falls in? Are they screwed? You know, how are they going to get back up? And then, like, we'll just make the walls climbable. Unfortunately, I don't think they predicted this because it makes the fight easy. Oh wow, I actually got hit by a boulder. That's a new one. I don't think I've ever actually gotten hit by a boulder before. I'm still going too. There you go. They might start targeting... It felt like those were targeting me, at least somewhat, because they were all kind of landing in the same spot, so it might be possible they started doing it later. But that does not take away from the fact this boss is really easy. I honestly wish they had just not worried about it. In fact, what I wish they had done is extended the platform or descended the lava area, and if you fell off the stage into the lava, it just did the thing kind of like it did in Death Mountain Crater, where you just got sent back to the start of the fight or something like that, because then it would have actually been a threat, but, you know, it kind of broke the fight. So, and then you wouldn't have to worry about having climbable walls, but what are you going to do? Volvagia has been defeated. His head would have made a fine trophy, but it disintegrated, so I guess we'll have to leave with just his heart container, which is apparently lodged inside his head somehow. And there you go, that's the fire temple. It's not very hard. At least I never found it hard. Man, that was beautiful. He's like, what the crap's going on out there? Yeah, look at that nice blue sky. That's much better, isn't it? That's probably one of my favorite things about the Fire Temple is that shot right there. Like, you can see peace slowly being restored to Hyrule. And even though Ganondorf's still in power, you know, you get to see, like, a blue sky again. For the, you know, for Kokiri Forest, all the monsters are gone. It's back the way it should be. And you're getting to see it get, you know, switch back the way it was supposed to be, piece by piece. Sure enough, Darunia is actually the Fire Sage. Big surprise there. I'm glad I got to record this tonight because I was really in the mood to play some Zelda though, because I've been doing my second 100% run of Twilight Princess and I just finished it yesterday. Today's the 19th of January 2015. This will be going up later, but because I still have a video of the Forest Temple to go up, and this will be the second part of the Fire Temple, so this will probably be up much later than I'm recording it, but I figured I might as well do it now. But I just finished, at the time of recording this on the 18th of January, I had finished Twilight Princess, so I was like, I can either go back to doing All-Star with all the characters on hard mode Smash, but I kind of want to go back and play Skyward Sword again. And there's the Fire Medallion. Darunia awakens as a sage and adds his power to yours, so we've got 3 down, 3 more to go. Even though the Light Medallion was essentially given to us. 2 main temples down, and 3 more to go. Though there are some mini dungeons that aren't actually temples you won't get a medallion from, but... Now there is one more thing. If you're just going to save and quit right here, I would highly recommend not doing so, because there's one other thing you want to pick up now that you have the Megaton Hammer, and more often than not I forget to do this, so I'm glad I actually remembered to. Go ahead and hookshot back across the way. That's obviously back into Darunia's room right there, so we're going to ignore that and head up here. Go ahead and break these rocks. It will take 2 hits, but the Megaton Hammer will get the job done. Bombs will not. And we're in another fairy fountain. Gonna play that. I'm really glad that Fire Temple turned out well. I didn't forget anything in it, unlike I did with the key in the Forest Temple, so I feel pretty proud of myself that I at least didn't screw up that dungeon. Or I think I talked about this in an earlier episode, like the race that I did with somebody whenever we were racing, and I left the heart container in the Forest Temple, and then I left it in the Water Temple too. We were going for all 20 hearts, and I left them both in there, like a dummy. I was so busy trying to go fast that, you know, I pulled the Sonic the Hedgehog with the bunny hood and went too fast and just forgot the heart containers. So I had to go back in and get them. At least I haven't done that. Not yet, anyway. Watch me forget one. Haven't done it yet, though. So she mentioned that she is going to enhance our magic meter. And essentially it's just doubled. I think they said twice as much. Yeah, so your magic meter gets doubled, and this is the only upgrade you get for it. And for the next temple, it probably wouldn't be a big deal, but after a while, it's going to start adding up. You're going to want this double magic meter, trust me. It's pretty good to have. If not, you're going to have pretty much a green potion with you going into any dungeon later on, just to make sure that, you know, you don't run out of magic power when you actually need it. Because after the 3rd temple, then you're actually going to start spending your magic, because more than likely you haven't been using Din's Fire or Ferora's Wind, but you're going to start doing it after this next temple that's coming up soon. For now, I think that's... I mean, we're 49 minutes. This is pretty much the end of the video. I think we're about good. If you want to go back into Goron City, all the Gorons are here again. Darunia is not, but... You get the music back. You can see the Gorons are back around, and they're all happy again, so... Pieces return to Death Mountain and Goron City, as it did with Kokiri Forest and saving... or finishing the Forest Temple and breaking the curse there. So you might be wondering, where's our next location? Is it as obvious as you would expect? Yes, in fact, it is as obvious as you would expect. An Arctic wind is blowing from Zora's River. Do you feel it? Yep, sure enough. As expected, as a kid, where we had to go through the Kokiri dungeon, the Goron dungeon, and the Zora dungeon, the 3rd area will be in Zora's domain, or around Zora's domain. It's not even in there. And that would be the Water Temple, the very infamous and ever-dreaded Water Temple, and I'm going to try to get you guys through that one as easily as I can. Believe it or not, I've actually got enough experience playing the game to know that one pretty well, and when we get into that, you'll see that it functions actually quite a bit like the Forest Temple does. which is funny because a lot of people don't seem to get the, or the Forest Temple doesn't get the infamy that the Water Temple does. Kind of an interesting bit, but either way. So that is it for this episode. Thank you guys for watching. This has been Pitmarthroy with the Fire Temple of Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. And in the next episode, we probably won't be starting the Water Temple because there is a couple other things that we need to do. In particular, we're going to have to get the next tunic because we obviously don't want to drown underwater. So I'm going to go ahead and switch back to the Kokiri tunic. I know a lot of people like keeping the same tunic on. Personally, I'm probably going to stick to green. If you guys want to comment saying which tunic you like more, the third one's going to be blue, and you want me to like keep a specific one on, it's fine. Just let me know. I'll keep the tunic on unless I need to, you know, switch it out for something else later on, like, you know, a water puzzle or whatever. But let me know in the comments which tunic you guys want me to see wearing, because there's no advantage or there's no disadvantage to wearing any like there is with the Zora tunic in Twilight Princess. I can wear any of them and it's not going to change anything drastically. I'm not going to take extra damage from stuff. So if there's any specific tunic that you want to see me wearing, whether it's the green one, the red one, or the blue one when we pick it up, probably in the next episode, then let me guys know in the comment. Let me know in the comments, and I'll try to work that in whenever I start recording for that set. So, you know what, guys? This video is not over yet. I changed my mind. There's one other thing I want to add to this, and I'm just going to go ahead and do it now because I don't care. I don't care. I might cut out the outro just to save a little bit of time, but I really don't care. We're going to go ahead and do this now because I'm going to forget otherwise. I looked over and saw the shooting gallery, and I just went, oh crap, I'm going to forget this. So I'm going to go ahead and do it now because I want that quiver upgrade. So we're going to do it now. So, the archery minigame is a lot like the slingshot minigame. The only difference being is that the order is not a set order like it was last time, where they go in the exact same pattern. They are randomized, in effect, so you don't know which one's going to come up first. You're going to have to be thinking a little bit faster, but the arrows do fly faster, and they seem to fly straighter than the slingshot does. It's easier to aim with this thing. But the rules are the exact same. The rupee mount is the exact same. It takes 20 to enter. 7 or less out of 10 will be a failure. 8 or 9 out of 10 will technically qualify as a failure, but they will enable you to play again if you wish. And 10 out of 10 will, of course, get you your upgrade. And there you go. So there's our present. We got it. That is the big quiver. Now you can carry up to 40 arrows in total. I just had to do that now, otherwise I knew I was going to forget it, and I knew it wasn't going to take that long. So, now that I've taken care of getting that arrow upgrade, because the second one will not be gotten for quite some time, I'm going to go ahead and actually save now, and I will see you guys in the next episode. Sorry about the random cut there, but I knew for a fact, the second I saw it, I'm like, I'm going to forget that if I don't pick it up now. I'm seriously going to forget it. Can I pick up any of the Skull Chiller rewards? No, I'm only at 26. You need 30 for the next reward. So, I'm done. See you guys later.